الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، يقول الله عز وجل: ولنبلونكم بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states in this beautiful verse, "We shall certainly test you with fear, hunger, loss of property, lives, and crops. But give good news to those from the sabirin, to those who are steadfast." And in this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes to every single one of us and tells every single one of us that we will be tested. And not only will every single one of us be tested, but we will be tested in different ways. And sometimes we find that these tests come to us as individuals, and other times these tests, as this one we are facing now, face us as a community. And we live in an atmosphere today, whether it be politically or socially or even medically, where we are constantly faced with these different fears and we are faced with these different tests. But Allah gives us glad tidings in this same verse. And He closes this verse by saying, الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. That those who say when afflicted with a calamity, we belong to Allah, and to Him we shall return. And sometimes we take this verse for granted, and sometimes we misunderstand this verse. Sometimes we feel that it is used against us as a way of spiritual blackmail. But the reality is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us and telling us, because this verse is addressed to me, this verse is addressed to you. This verse is not meant to be used by me against you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this very simple sentence, this very simple statement, in order to help us keep our perspective on the hardship and the test that we all face. And I understand that it is hard. I understand that it is difficult. And I understand that many of us have a right and are scared, myself included. How many of us know somebody who has passed away because of this sickness? How many of us know others who have lost their job because of this pandemic? How many of us know somebody who is ill, who is hurting, who is depressed, who is anxious, who is now in an abusive relationship because of what is happening in our society and the world around us? And it is hard. I'm not here to give anyone or to tell anyone that this is easy, or you should remember Allah, or you should fear Allah, because that is not our job as a community. Our job as a community is to support one another. Our job as a community is to give each other hope. And our job as a community is to help remind one another and to put these different hardships in perspective. Because while Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has closed a number of doors to us, there are other doors that He has opened for us that maybe we didn't see before. How many of us complained before the pandemic started that we did not have enough time to spend with our children, to spend with our wives, to spend with our family? And now all of us have isn't anything or nothing but time. And this is something that we should take advantage of. In every balwa, in every fitna, in every hardship, there is always a lesson that we can all take and we can all learn from. And if anything, the lesson that we can take away from this is how to be alone and how to be with ourselves. And for some of us, that's something that's very terrifying. For some of us, that's something very scary, because we were never given the opportunity to actually sit down and be alone with our thoughts. But now we have that chance. Now we have that opportunity. Are we utilizing this opportunity, or are we allowing it to go to waste? For while there are many that are ill, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give shifa, to give healing to all of those who are ill, and to give them a full recovery, ameen, and to have mercy on all of those who have passed, ameen. We should still be thankful for those of us who might have come through this disease, some of us asymptomatic, some of us showing very small symptoms, that we still have our health. For some of us, this sickness was nothing more than an inconvenience. And for some of us, it was an extreme hardship. And for those that had it as an inconvenience, wallahi, it's something that we should be thankful for. And for those of us who had it as a hardship, then we should utilize that as a lesson to make ourselves and to allow ourselves to become better Muslims and to better our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if we look at all of the hardships that the previous prophets faced, there was a reason for those adversities. Look at the life of Yusuf alayhi salam before he was sent on his journey. Look at the life of Ibrahim alayhi salam before he began challenging his father. And all of these anbiya, including our beloved messenger, Sayyiduna Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, faced these adversities and faced these hardships. And when we look at the result of those adversities and the result of those hardships, it only made them better people. And the one thing that we all complain about, whether it be with ourselves or with our children, is that they're spoiled and that they are entitled. And the fact is that we are spoiled and we are entitled. And one of the reasons for that is because we forgot the adversities that we faced and we forgot the lessons that were in them. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this pandemic an opportunity for us to help us draw near to Him, and to make it an opportunity for us to learn the lessons that are in it, and to make it an opportunity for us to increase our love for Him so that He will increase His love for us. وَأَقُولُ قَوْلِ هَذَا وَأَسْتَغْفِرُ اللَّهَ لِي وَلَكُمْ وَلِسَائِرِ الْمُسْلِمِينَ مِنْ كُلِّ ذَنبٍ وَخَطِيئَةٍ إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalam ala Sayyidil Anbiya al-Mursaleen, Nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in, amma ba'd. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: مثل المؤمنين في تراههم وتوادهم وتعاطفهم كمثل الجسد إذا اشتكى عضو منه تداعى له سائر الجسد بالحمى والسهر. The Prophet ﷺ said, the parable of the believers in their affection, mercy, and compassion for each other is that of a single body. When any limb aches, the whole body reacts with sleeplessness and fever. And one of the lessons that we can take away from this pandemic is our attitude toward each other as a community. I remember before this whole pandemic started, I had complained about the quality of some of the khutab in the area that I was in. And then one day, I had to sit in front of a camera and announce to the community that the Jummah will be cancelled. Something that I had taken for granted. Something that I never would have imagined happened, where it got to a point where I made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow me to attend the khutbah even if it's a bad one. And walillahi alhamdu wal minna, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us that opportunity again. We should not waste these opportunities by fighting with one another. We should not waste these opportunities by policing one another. We should not waste these opportunities by hurting one another. If there's something that we disagree with, then we should bring that forward. Not by yelling, not by screaming, not by standing up in the musalla. By going and addressing the administration, coming to myself, coming to someone who we feel can actually bring a change. Knocking on the door, yelling. This is not the way of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is not the way of the companions. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't differ. I'm not saying that we shouldn't bring forward our issues that we are having. This is something that is vital and something that is important for the support of the community. That when we differ, we learn how to speak and talk to one another. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes this community as ikhwa, as brothers. And the reason for that is because as brothers, we will differ. We're all not going to like the same food. We're not all going to like the same things. We're all not going to agree on everything. Because true brotherhood shows when we disagree, not when we agree. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us, again, to utilize this opportunity, and please look at it as an opportunity to draw near to one another, to increase in our brotherhood. And again, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give shifa, to heal all of those who are ill. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have mercy on all of those who have passed. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to re-enfranchise all of those who have lost their jobs. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give patience to all of those who are facing all the different types of hardships in their home, whether it be isolation, loneliness, anxiety, abuse that is happening, in homes now because people are stuck at home without work. And this is something we really need to take into account. Walillah alhamd, Al-Hijrah is still offering consultation services for those who are interested in taking advantage of them. Myself, Naeem, Shakir, Aisha, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them all, are still offering their services for those that need it. Don't be shy to speak to any of us, because I will tell you myself personally, I'm not shy to speak to any of them when I do have issues. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us, to bless this community, and to bless Ummah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa aqim as-salam.